permit holders from 1985 through July of last year, and I've been able to identify 11 cases over that entire time. And there's like 5 million people who actively had concealed handgun permits in 2007, but 11 cases where people were convicted of murder. Now, it'd be nice if it was 0, but you're talking about a rate. Even if they had all committed those murders in 1 year, that would be like 1/300th the rate of murders in the general adult population. And again, it's been spread over a couple decades there, those cases. So, and even a few of those might even be debated one way or the other. But, it's these guys. The point is somebody who's going to go and commit a crime, do something bad, isn't going to go through the process of getting a concealed handgun permit. Simply no benefit for them doing that.
Let's go next to, where do we go? East of the Rockies. How about Delaware? David, it's your turn.
Thanks, George.
Sure
I got a question for your guest there. It's a two-part question. What does he think about the SEFTA treatise that Barack Obama wants the Senate to pass? And how, if that does get passed, how can we stop it from happening?
The SEPTA thing? I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
What is that, David? Do you know?
It was on Infowars.com. It's a treatise that was set forth by the United Nations. It was actually signed by Bill Clinton, stating that people who reload weapons, break them apart, it essentially limits gun control and kind of circumvents the Second Amendment.
They want to license them or something like that, don't they?
They want to restrict them, saying if you reload your own rounds, then you can be charged with a felony. If you take apart a weapon.
They don't want, it's not law yet, obviously, but they don't want people to reload ammunition.
Right. Well, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be coming down, both the UN. One thing George Bush did was he stopped a couple times international arms control agreements through the UN. And there's one dealing with the Americas that Obama has recently come out in favor of that would, in the guise of trying to prevent international gun smuggling, would go and could be used for going and requiring registration of guns in the United States, for example. And as you say, could go and be used for lots of different types of gun control laws. It's unfortunate. These treaties at least have to be ratified by the Senate, and I hope that there'll be enough votes in order to stop that from happening. But a lot of countries are a lot less willing to trust their citizens to be able to go and defend themselves than the United States is. And you have a lot of very totalitarian governments that would like to do whatever they can in order to make sure that guns can't get to their citizens. One thing that we started off earlier in the program, though, mentioning is how incredibly difficult it is to go and keep guns from coming in. The problem is it's relatively easy to stop the law-abiding citizens from getting guns,
sure,
not the criminals. It's relatively easy to stop the law-abiding citizens from getting guns,
sure,
not the criminals. It's relatively easy to stop the law-abiding citizens from getting guns,
sure,
not the criminals. It's relatively easy to stop the law-abiding citizens from getting guns,
sure,
not the criminals. And for the reasons we've talked about, to the extent that they accomplish these things, registration and licensing will make it costly for good people to go and get guns. And to the extent that it does that, you'll see increases in crime. This stuff.
All right, maybe we could squeeze in one more quick one. Edwin in New York, first-time caller. Minute to go, Edwin.
Thank you so much, George and John. Good evening. One quick question for you, John. Have you heard of the gun control legislation that's been going on in New York? I had a pistol license from 1986 up until recently last year.
Right.
I got rid of it from all the bureaucracy that's going on. The fees are unbelievable here in New York. It's $375.
It's going to get worse. There's now that the Democrats control both the House and the state Senate there's 5 new gun control bills that they're going to be voting on in the next week or two in the House, and at least some of those are going to go through the Senate. So, they have everything from things that are going to raise the cost of ammunition even more than the cost that we've already talked about, the increases there, and making it more difficult for people to go and get pistol licenses in the state. And, there's somehow this notion that only approved people and experts are the ones that are should be able to own guns there in New York. And, we've been through this lots of times. I've seen how poorly that type of rules worked in other places, but for the reasons we've talked about earlier about where people get their views from and how they're affected by things, unfortunately, it's not a lesson that sticks.
Well, it's an emotional subject, John Lott. Thank you for being on the program tonight.